And then we'll take the welcome address. Yes, we'll take the welcome address. This will be taken by our section chair. Then we'll have a quick presentation by the study group team. They just want to tell us about what they have in store for us. Then just after that, the membership committee would have a brief talk on what being a member of SP is about. So it's actually going to be a quick one. And I know some of us on the call might maybe not be members. This is maybe the first time of you joining our call, or you have been a member, but you've not renewed your membership for the year. This is an opportunity for you to hear about that. Just after that, we'll get into the technical session, the technical presentation, and then we'll have time for Q&A because this is an exciting topic, and I know most of us have questions for our speaker. We'll get into the photographs, announcements, and then we'll call it an evening. So thank you so much. I'll call on Simeon now to help us with the national anthem. You don't need to sing along. We already have a sound that just helps us. And you know, Nigeria will celebrate quite soon. So let's just listen as the national anthem will be played. Thank you.
Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians old and proud to serve our sovereign motherland. Our flag shall be a symbol that truth and justice reign. In peace or battle honored, and this we count as gain. To hang on to our children, a banner without stain. O God of all creation, grant this our one request. Help us to build our nation where no man is oppressed. And so with peace and plenty, Nigeria may be blessed.
Thank you. Thank you so much. May God bless Nigeria. We're moving on now, and we'll be taking a brief safety presentation. This is going to be taken by one of us, the person of Joel Oko. The essence of this safety brief is just to remind us about the importance of safety. And I think this is an interesting topic, talking about behavior-based safety. So I will hand over to Joy now, who will take us quickly on the safety moment for today.
Okay, thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. Good to be here and to bring this presentation to us. So I'll dive into it real quick. So this is a safety presentation on behavior-based safety in oil and gas operations. So now this may be the first time some of us will be hearing about behavior-based safety. It's actually something that's been for a while now. It originated from early industrial safety research, particularly the work of Herbert William Heinrich in the 1930s. So it dates back to the 1930s. Heinrich, working for Travelers Insurance Company, analyzed thousands of accident reports, and he concluded that the vast majority of workplace accidents were caused by unsafe acts, or human error, emphasis on unsafe acts or human error, rather than unsafe conditions. So the major cause of workplace accident, according to his research, is based on unsafe acts or human error. Now, what is BBS? BBS is a proactive safety approach that encourages employees to observe each other's work behaviors. Okay, so it's something that's has to be intentionally done. So it's a proactive safety approach that encourages employees to observe each other's work behaviors, provide feedback, and promote safe practices. Okay, now why is it important in the oil and gas? Okay, so it involves, the oil and gas industry is a high-risk industry because it involves high-risk activities like drilling, lifting, handling hazardous materials, and so on and so forth. So BBS helps to reduce human error, which is a leading cause of incidents in the industry. It also builds a strong safety culture where everyone feels responsible for safety. So everyone is involved in this. Next slide, please. Okay, now how does BBS work? How does it work? Okay, there are 4 things outlined there for us. First is observation. Second is feedback. The third is data collection. And the fourth is continuous improvement. So for observation, workers are to observe each other's behavior during tasks. So everyone's eyes should be alert. Everyone should be looking out for one another, not just on his own work or on his own self. So that's for observation. Then for feedback, constructive feedback. That's a very important phrase there. Constructive feedback is given to reinforce safe actions or correct unsafe ones. So feedback has to be constructive, such that it would not have the wrong effect on those who are being corrected. All right, so the third one is data collection. Observations are recorded and analyzed to identify trends and areas for improvement. So data is key here. So it's important to gather data and get insights from data, make informed decisions from the data collected, and identify areas for improvement. The fourth one there is continuous improvement. So safety programs are adjusted based on observation data. Safety programs are adjusted based on observation data. So it's a very, very robust framework that BBS is. Now, benefits of BBS in oil and gas. First, it reduces workplace injuries and incidents. Secondly, it improves communication and teamwork. Thirdly, it empowers employees to take ownership of safety. And fourthly, it enhances compliance with industry regulations. So these benefits are very, very comprehensive, as it literally covers every area. All right, so now on the right side of the screen, we have a sample safety checklist, sample observation checklist. The first one says wearing proper PPE. So when it's safe, when everyone is actually wearing proper PPE, safe, you see the safe, the column is ticked for that one. So everyone is wearing proper PPE, then it's safe for all. No risk and no comments or actions taken. And then secondly, following safe lifting techniques. If everyone is doing that, then there's no risk and there's no comment or action to be taken. Then thirdly, you can see for the third one, using tools or equipment correctly. So when people are not using tools and equipment correctly, there is a risk involved, and it's important for action to be taken. So the comment there is tool not inspected before use. Tool not inspected before use. And the fourth one is housekeeping. The work area has to be clean. So when the work area is clean, then it's safe and there's no action to be taken. So this is a very, very a simple observation checklist based on the BBS model. Okay, the fourth is following permit to work system. The oil and gas industry has this as is integrated into it. Permit to work is very important for offshore, onshore operations and all of that. So when there's not properly put in place, there's a risk at stake. And so it means that in this case now, the comment here is that permit is not displayed, so there's a risk factor there. The next one is reporting near misses. So it's important to report near misses hazard when due. And the last one there is communicating hazards. Communication is key. It's important to be vocal and be vocal in the right way, and to be proactive about being vocal and not sluggish about it. It's important to communicate effectively. So when there is a hazard, it should be communicated. All right. If it's not communicated, then there's a risk. And if there's any incident, it means that the comment there is did not warn co-workers. All right. So in summary, safety first is not a suggestion. It's not a suggestion. It's a responsibility. On the job and off the job, we should take safety with us. On the job and off the job, safety first is our core responsibility as professionals. Also, your friends and loved ones need you to stay alive. Our friends and loved ones need us to stay alive, so we must watch out for that when we are carrying out our work, both on the job and off the job. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you so much, Joel. This was really insightful. Please, on the chat, let's give Joel a virtual round of applause. I think this was a fantastic one. In summary, it says safety first is not a suggestion, but a responsibility. And this is really very key. Your friends and loved ones need you to stay alive. Thank you so much. So BBS is the way. You need to check on your colleague while you're working. Just ensure that they are using the right, either the PPEs, they are also ensuring that they are taking charge of their work. It's really very important. Safety is key. Thank you so much. We'll move on to the next bit of activity on our agenda, which is the welcome address. And this is going to be taken by our very own section chairman, the person of Engineer Dr. Pringle Egbe. I know we have him already on the call. Sir, if you're on the call, please do us the honors of welcoming each and every one of us to this great event.
All right, good evening all. On behalf of Section 103 SP Port Harcourt, I am delighted to welcome you to our very first monthly technical meeting. Today marks a significant milestone to our section as we launch what will become a tradition of knowledge sharing, networking, and professional growth. Today's theme, decade of gas production, and supply for sustainable energy transition, is both timely and crucial as we collectively pursue a cleaner and more sustainable energy solution. We are honored today to have our very own Ada Adobe, a senior lecturer from Rivers State University, as our key speaker. And we also like to appreciate Engineer Iboro Basi accepting to moderate this section. I encourage everyone to engage actively, ask questions, share perspective, network. Together, we can drive the innovation and strategy that will shape a sustainable energy future. Once again, welcome, and let's have an enlightening section. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, SC. Indeed, we are happy to be here. Indeed, it's our first, and we look forward to many more under your leadership. Next, we'll be moving to a quick presentation by the Study Group Initiative team. Simeon, if you don't mind, Hilary has mentioned that he would be sharing the slide from his end, so you can please just stop sharing code so that he can quickly do that for us. And while Hilary's slide is coming up, just to mention for the students on the call, please, you need to rep your university, your name and your university. We have data support for you. So please, on the chat, just ensure you tell us your name and tell us the chapter that you are joining us from or the university that you're joining us from. It's really very important. I see your SSC on the call. Please encourage the students to join us, and also just help us take note of the students that will be giving us their details on the chat. Okay, so Hilary, the floor is yours. Go ahead. We can't hear you. Can you hear me? Can anyone hear Hillary? Okay, I think maybe it's his
Can you hear
network.
me?
Oh, I can hear you now.
Yeah, okay, because I was hearing you very clearly.
Okay, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much, Ofuri, and thanks everyone on the call for joining. So I'll just make a very quick presentation on some of the initiatives that we are bringing on board. I mean, it's a new body here, and I mean, if you follow the comments that our section chair had made and his remarks, part of what we intend to do is to do things differently, and by bringing new initiatives that will help us foster collaboration and knowledge sharing in section 103. And so this initiative is okay. This initiative is driven by the Technical Information Dissemination Team or Committee, and one of the things that we have thought to do is to see what can we do differently to ensure that across all the members in the team or in the committee, or rather in the community, SP community, can also begin to share knowledge across between each other, and at the same time begin to derive value from also being an SPE member or being part of this section. And so for us, we intend to create a very vibrant platform that will enable us to share knowledge, grow professionally, and also exchange technical knowledge. And one of the things we have outlined as our goal is to establish a minimum of 5 study groups, that will help us elevate the discussion in terms of knowledge sharing. And this is going to cut across petroleum engineering domains, data science and HSC. And of course, the approach is to just have a self-managed group, with a maximum of 10 persons. And we'll also elaborate as to why we are looking at a maximum of 10 persons, basically so that we have a team that is very efficient. And then the idea here is that this team, each of the teams, will be responsible for sourcing, technical materials like our SP papers from One Petro, and of course begin to dissect and learn from the work that has been done in the different areas of the groups that have been created. And of course at the end of the day we should be able to co-author SPE papers that can be published or would be published in the 2026 SPE NICE conference. And so what's the expectation at the end of the day? That each of the study groups will be able to co-author these papers, having synthesized the collective learnings from the different papers that would be reviewed, and then of course that will be used to flesh up an SPE paper that will be published during the 2026 NICE conference. And so I will just go to the next slide. I've mentioned a bit about the key objectives. So essentially, we want to be able to develop expertise in the different petroleum engineering disciplines, at the same time also cutting across areas like data science and HSC, and at the same time promote collaborations amongst be it professionals and also YPs and even students in the section. And we'll be using that platform to also create impact, foster professional growth, and of course enhance communication across board. So what are the themes that we are looking at? We are looking at creating, I mentioned 5 study groups, and we'll be looking at areas around geology and reservoir engineering, production technology and optimization, drilling engineering, data science and analytics, and HSC, which is very crucial as in the scheme of things as far as SP is concerned. So for us, these are the 5 core areas that we'll be focusing on for in terms of creating a study group around each of these area. And recall what I said. The idea here is that we're going to have a maximum of 10 persons in each of these groups. I mean, we can have more, but the idea is to have a maximum. So what it simply means is that as soon as the link is shared for you to join, if you have an interest in any of this group, please do well to quickly jump and indicate interest. So there is a lot of value proposition for everyone who will be joining this group. And aside from you learning, sharing knowledge, being able to sharpen your presentation skill, or being able to engage in technical discussions, the idea is that at the end of the day, each team will be able to, from the reviews of the SP papers that will be done, come up with a review paper that will be presented at NAIS. So it's an opportunity for you to have your name appended to an SPE paper, or to co-author an SPE paper in the forthcoming 2026 NAIS conference. So I'm sure each of every one of us would have specific areas of interest cutting across these groups that would be created, or we're proposing would be created. So please do well to indicate interest as soon as the link is displayed. All right, so I mentioned earlier that we're having 5 groups. So this is just a bit of the structure and responsibility. So essentially, we said 5 groups with 10 members in each of these groups. We're going to have 2 leadership, where we have a group leader and a group assistant, right? And then every other person in the group will be regarded as researchers. So the group leader is going to be from a professional from any of the organizations, of course, represented in the community, in the SPE community, and of course will be responsible for facilitating the meeting, guiding discussion to ensure that we stay on track. That we'll have an assistant who will help us set up the meetings, moderate it, and of course take minutes of meeting to communicate actions to the rest of the team. So of course are regarded as researchers. And everybody, don't forget, everybody in the team is a researcher. What you are doing is that for the 5 groups, we are going to identify an area of interest for everyone in the group, actively source relevant technical paper in that space, and then begin to review this paper. Reviewing this paper can involve setting up, a weekly engagement where each member of the team will take turns to discuss summary of of their findings in the paper, or even lead an in-depth discussion into the space of or area of interest that has been selected. So this is a very good opportunity for people to begin to derive or share knowledge and derive value from being an SPE member. So what are the timelines for each of the group that will be created? So we've discussed formation of the groups. That would be when each of the groups have been resourced. We'll assign the roles in terms of the lead and the assistant. Then the team will come together, meet, and have a specific focus area, and then begin to source resources, relevant technical papers in those areas. And this is what's going to be happening in the first month. Between the second and the 5th month, there will now be ongoing discussions, conduct in-depth research on the papers, facilitate the discussions, and then people begin to take turns to discuss the summary of their findings in each of those papers. And by doing that, you are taking notes in preparation for the review paper that will be written. So between the 6 to 7 months, we expect that each member of the team, everybody collaboratively begins to write the review paper, solicits for information from each other, refine the documents that is being prepared, and ensure that there is some level of quality and coherence in whatever is being written. And then this is progressed to being submitted as an abstract, and then of course ultimately presented in the SP 2026 NAIS conference. So what this simply means is that we have an opportunity for professional development. We have an opportunity for networking amongst, be it professionals, students, YPs. Everyone has an opportunity to network. You also have a rare opportunity at industry visibility, being given the privilege and the opportunity to co-author a paper, be if you're a student. I can remember the first time I had my name on an SPE paper. So it has a great feeling of fulfillment, especially when you know that you contributed technically to the work that has been done. So it's an opportunity for us to have that industry visibility, of course, skill enhancement, and then leadership opportunities. When you are discussing findings, it gives you the opportunity to sharpen your skills. So this is my summary slide. So essentially, we expect that everyone who is on the call jumps on this opportunity, indicates by scanning the code which is displayed, the QR code displayed, you're able to, decide the team that you want to be a member of or you want to be a part of, and then we'll be able to, put that together, and begin to create those group and ensure that, we're able to begin to derive value from day one. So please, let's make this happen. Inform a friend to inform another friend and ensure that you make or you take advantage of this rare opportunity that we have brought on board. So thank you very much, and thank you, Ofuri, for the opportunity to make this quick or share this quick presentation. So back to you for the next line of action. I don't know if we want to take any question or anything, or we can proceed.
No, we won't have time to take question, but thank you so much, Hilary. I think this is exciting. We'll share the link after now. You can also drop the link on the chat. But after now, a mail will be sent to members to also join. So we look forward to you joining the study groups as an opportunity for you to connect and also to learn, which is one of the vision or mission of SP as a community. So thank you so much. Just before we also get into the main reason why we're here, which is, of course, a technical presentation, we just want to use the opportunity to recognize some of our senior members that we see on the call. We'll see our immediate past chair, the person of Fabio Pedro. You're welcome, sir. We also see our section director, Laji Othman Mohamed. You are welcome. Thank you for joining us this evening. We have our PC, Mrs. Adeshola Robinson. You're welcome. Thank you for joining. And of course, I think I also saw the UYO section chair and the person of Engineer Kessin ACN. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We are really happy to have you join us this evening. Thank you so much. Simeon, are you here? Can you please continue with the sharing? Okay, so while Simeon is trying to get the slides up, the next bit is just a 5-minute talk on membership, why you need to join us. We have about 67 persons on the call. I know some of us might be joining for the first time, or some of us are maybe members, but we have not renewed our membership. The membership committee just have a quick 5-minute talk to tell you why you need to join SPE. So Agbenu, I know and I see you on the call. Please, the floor is yours. In the next 3 to 5 minutes, just quickly run us through what you have.
All right, thank you very much, Ofuri. Good evening, everyone. As Ofuri mentioned, my name is Agbenu on behalf of the membership committee. It's nice to have all of you on this call, but most importantly, we are SPE. SPE is, your one-stop shop for anything oil and gas, and it's open to oil and gas, and then the industry, energy industry at large, professionals and students can be a member of this. Now, what you stand to gain as an SPE member is a network, a strong network of people in same industry, of like-minded individuals. And then there's also opportunities for business and career visibility as well. Like minds, the main goal or the main vision for SPE is technical knowledge dissemination. And that is what we intend to do here, right? They have access to conferences, there are opportunities for mentorship, and also it gives you an opportunity to give back. So SPE is not just interested in technical knowledge sharing, but it gives you an opportunity to give back to your society through volunteering, and then also interested in your career growth and development. Hence the event we're having now to help us know more about current trends. Now, who can be a member of SPE? Like earlier mentioned, students, recent graduates, young professionals, even senior professionals. Now, there's also this mindset that people have. SPE is just for petroleum engineers. And if you're on this call and you did not study petroleum engineering in school, or you're not actively working as a petroleum engineer, please don't feel out of place, because SPE is for everybody as long as you're interested in oil and gas. Whatever thing you're doing, whether you're an accountant, an engineer, a medical practitioner, a legal practitioner, SB is placed for you. While this presentation is going on, the links for membership would be placed in the chat box, and then you can have access to it. Now, this is SB Port Harcourt section, one of the sections under the Nigerian Council. SB Port Harcourt is the second largest section in Nigeria. To be a member of SB, membership costs 69,000 naira for new members, 55,000 naira for renewals. Say you forgot to renew. Now, membership for people who are members before and want to renew is 55,000. If you're a new member on this call, it's 69,000. And then for students, it is completely free. All you just have to do is go to sp.org and then register for students, completely free. But as a professional member, 69,000, I'm going over it again so that we don't lose it. So the links will be placed in the chat box. And then if for any reason you need more clarification, you can send an email to us at sppHC@gmail.com or reach out to the membership chair, Emmanuel Agbo, or her co-chair, or myself. You can reach out to any of us and we'll put you through. However, for now, the link is in the chat box. Please just click on the link and fill in your details and we'll take it up for there. Thank you very much, Ofre.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Agbenu. We're looking forward to having you join us for new members. And of course, for those that haven't renewed, SB is a place to be. So right about now, we'll be introducing our moderator for the day. I know we had a few things come up before this, and I think it was intentional. So we'll have quite a number of persons on the call, so we don't get to miss the technical presentation by our speaker. So I would introduce the moderator. Our moderator for today is Engineer Iboro Basil. Engineer Basil is a senior process engineer with extensive experience in LNG production, cryogenic systems, process optimization, and risk management. He currently provides technical assurance on both short-term operational challenges and long-term asset performance, supporting safe and reliable LNG operations. Engineer Bassi holds a BSc in Petroleum Engineering and an MBA in Risk Management. Over the course of his career, he has worked across diverse roles in process engineering, spanning project design, commissioning, and operations support. Outside of work, he enjoys traveling, exploring nature, and spending time with family. Ladies and gentlemen, please, I want you to please use the chat box, the virtual clap reaction. So please welcome our moderator for today. We had to bring in an expert in this space, a senior process engineer with the production division of NLNG, to help us moderate the session for today. And I know it's going to be an exciting one. Welcome, Engineer Bassi. We're excited to have you join us this evening. I would hand over to you now so you can help us introduce our speaker for today. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that introduction, Engineer Chizzy. And please confirm you can hear me.
Loud and clear, and I can also see you in your cover. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, and welcome everyone once again. And it's a pleasure to be here. Amazing meeting so far, and also we have a powerful technical session planned next. So the presentation will be on the Decade of Gas, which is a strong initiative, not just for professionals, but also for Nigerians as a whole, as it leverages the massive gas potential we have as a nation and shows the opportunities that we can get in this space. So the technical presentation for today will be on the Decade of Gas, with a focus on gas production and supply for sustainable energy transition. And I would have the honor to present our distinguished speaker for today. Dr. Adalbi. So I'll just quickly run through her biography. So her name is Dr. Adalbi Unwosi Anele, a senior lecturer and a seasoned current registered petroleum engineer who has vast experience in petroleum project economics in the upstream and downstream sectors. She holds a BTech from Rivers State University, a master's and PhD in petroleum engineering from the University of Port Harcourt. She has expertise in petroleum and energy economics. She teaches natural gas processing, Petroleum Economics and Engineering Economics Management at Rivers State University at both the undergraduate and postgraduate levels. She has collaborated with various consultancy firms to carry out economic analysis for all field projects before asset acquisition. Authored and co-authored numerous publications in her field of expertise and presented some papers at SP NICE conferences. She's a short course lecturer for SP. Her short course has featured in NICE for the past 4 years. She has served as the head of Petroleum Engineering Department, Rivers State University, from 2021 to 2023, faculty advisor for SP Section 103 in 2021 and 2023, scholarship chairperson in 2024, and currently the career guidance and continuing education person for SP Section 103. She is a reviewer of the natural gas column of SP Famous Journal of Petroleum Technology, and she's married to a fellow academician, and they are blessed with 3 children. So this is a very powerful biography, and it's a great honor to introduce the speaker for today. So just before I hand over, please let's all pay attention. It's going to be a lovely presentation, and let's note down our comments, our questions. We would love to hear from you after the session. So at this point, I will hand over the podium to Dr. Adaobi. Please, you have the floor. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. It's nice to be here this evening. I want to share my screen now. Please confirm you can see my screen. And confirm you can hear me as well.
Yes, I can see your screen, hear you, and see you.
All right, thank you so much. It's a great privilege to be here this evening, speaking on decade of gas production and supply for sustainable energy transition. As we all know, there has been that initiative globally after Paris Accord 2015 to transiting to cleaner forms of energy because of carbon emission. However, a lot of countries have resisted, but Nigeria, even before then, has set the pace for energy transition through their policies and through most of the initiatives that have been put in place, right from the time of President Musa Yar'Adua in 2008. We would see that as we proceed through what has been done in our gas sector. As we can see on this cover slide, we have a rig area, a field where we have some emissions on the floor, and we can see what is happening there. And this is what we call them spill in the environment or around the rig area. And then we know that fossil fuel has multiple carbon atoms, unlike natural gas that has just one carbon atom and multiple hydrogen atom. And because of this, Nigeria has said, in order for us to join the global community to transit into cleaner forms of energy, natural gas, which is what we have in abundance, is and would be our source or our transition fuel. So going through this presentation this evening, I will take you through it by the following sub-themes. Now, the decade of gas. Before we came to this point where the government declared the decade of gas under the regime of late President Mohamed Buhari that started 1st January 2021 and is expected to target emission total flare out and sustainable transition to cleaner fuel by 2030. The aim is that we don't just jettison the hydrocarbon we have in order for us to be secure with our energy source, because transiting to renewables is actually good for the environment, it's actually good to curb emissions, but what we have in abundance as a country is gas. In fact, Nigeria is known to be a country with large gas reserves and pockets of oil. That is why most of the oil fields, while producing crude oil, they have a lot of associated gas with crude oil. Managing the associated gas in time past had been a problem until this initiative began and infrastructural development began to come into place and then help with managing the gases that were once fled, but they are now utilized locally and also for export. We also have the intention to meet up climate goals, which I've said earlier, sustainable transition, which will mean that we'll start with what we have before we progress into what we would acquire. And starting with what we have will be using our own hydrocarbon gas, natural gas, which is a cleaner form of energy compared to crude oil as our transition fuel. And then we'll begin from there to get sustainable energy while harnessing other sources of energy that are cleaner than natural gas. The overview of the Nigerian gas sector, it will be good for me to take you through the Nigerian gas sector. Nigeria has a history of gas production and gas flares before now. And because we have not been in time past harnessing our gas reserves, we used to have about 6.5 to 8.5 billion scf of gas produced per day. And the International Energy Association has stated that we have estimated 210 trillion cubic feet of gas as our gas reserve. And our gas is termed sweet gas because we have less than 2% sulfur in it. And globally, even if there's this clamor and this move for energy transition, 80% of energy utilized worldwide is still sourced from hydrocarbon. And so even if we transit to cleaner forms of energy, hydrocarbon, natural gas would still be part of the energy mix and will play a huge role in being a form of energy for the next 50 years. Nigeria is seen to be the highest oil and gas producing country in Africa and the 13th largest in the world. As a matter of fact, Nigeria's gas reserve has 70% associated gas and just non-associated gas rather. That means we have pure gas wells and 30% associated gas. So there are a lot of gas reserves that have not even been harnessed in Nigeria. Now, this has been the roadmap. When I said President Musa Yar'Adua actually set the pace for gas utilization in Nigeria, he actually did that with the Nigerian Gas Master Plan in the year 2008. And he set a time for gas flare out in 2009, even though that was not achieved because of infrastructural setbacks. At least that was a call to action and policies were put in place for people to harness gas. That paved way for national gas supply and pricing regulations that made investors in gas sector to harness gas and promote gas utilization in country and within our country and in our domestic homes. There was a clamor for gas utilization in country, clamor for gas industrialization, and local homes using gas for industry and for our domestic purposes like the LPG, the CNG. Nigerian Gas Flare Commercialization Plan came on board in 2016. That plan actually was meant to divert gases that were meant to be flared and utilize them for business purposes. That paved way for the National Gas Policy in 2017. And then that also paved way for Nigerian Gas Transportation Network Code. When we saw the lack in the infrastructural sector, that came on board to help with ensuring that gas transmission within Nigeria and out of Nigeria is made possible. Then the National Gas Expansion Program also came on board in 2020, and that was followed by the Decade of Gas Initiative. Right in the same year when the Decade of Gas Initiative was enacted, we also had the passage of the Petroleum Industry Act. The Petroleum Industry Act actually provides that operators that invest in midstream and downstream infrastructures are given tax incentives and some tax holidays because of their willingness to invest on gas infrastructure. Now, what are the challenges in our industry? We know that our industry is unique, the oil and gas industry, and there are challenges around natural gas utilization. Major challenge around natural gas utilization has been the availability of infrastructure. As we speak, 600 million Africans actually lack energy in terms of available electric power supply. And we know that in our country, natural gas has served to power turbines that provides electricity for industries, for some rural areas in our country. Natural gas is also a transition fuel, like I said before, and Africa as a continent holds 600 trillion cubic feet reserve of natural gas, and Nigeria is said to hold about almost half of that, and that now gives us hope. If Nigeria, being the champion of Africa, as is popular said, holds 210 trillion cubic feet of gas reserve, which is almost half of what the entire continent holds, and Nigeria has declared decade of gas for its country, and that will also filter into the continent because it is the giant of the continent in terms of energy supply. And then we can see that the nation's national oil company has set on board a way, or has looked at how Nigerians has utilized natural gas and the different ways with which Nigerians use natural gas. First of all, they said we consume natural gas in our power sector, in our industries, and then we actually send natural gas to West Africa through the West African gas pipeline. And then we also do export gas through our Nigerian LNG company, and we also convert gas to liquid for exports as well. Then in the upstream industry, gas has been used for enhanced oil recovery or secondary recovery as gas injection, and a very little volume compared to what it used to be is actually fled. This report is a report from a publication of Nigerian National Petroleum Company in 2020. And they went further to say, in country, this is how we utilize our natural gas. We have gas commercialized in this proportion from 2018. This projection or this forecast is from 2018 to 2027. That's about 10 years projection. And then we have gas utilized for power. We have gas-based industry, the GBIs. They are coming up. As you can see, in 2018, it was low. That's progressed in 2019 and is making huge progress until 2027 as is projected. We have the West African gas pipeline, where we also is a channel through which we give or we send natural gas into West Africa. Then our domestic gas supply, the DOM gas supply, we can see the projections from 2018 and how it has grown over time, growing up, and it is expected to continue to progress until 2027 with the time frame within which the forecast is estimated for. Now, the export gas, that was for the DOM gas and our own in-country gas utilization. The export gas sector, we have the West African gas pipeline already in place to help with gas distribution within West Africa. We can see the red mark there. The West African gas pipeline collects gas from takes gas from the escravos and passes it through Lagos down to Cotonou and to other parts of West Africa. The NLNG is another channel through which we do export gas. Our export gas in NLNG goes out of our country through ships and vessels. Now, what is the strategic goal and infrastructure on our gas infrastructure? The strategic goal for the Decade of Gas initiative is to ensure increase in gas production by 50% by the year 2030 and to boost domestic gas supply. And then how do we intend to achieve this? We intend to achieve this by infrastructural development, building pipelines, more pipelines added to what we already have, and expansion of the NLNG which is already ongoing by the project of the NLNG Train 7. We also have the monetary funding and regulatory support in country and externally that will also boost this and help the Decade of Gas initiative to be a success. We know that the Escravos Lagos pipeline system is one of the oldest pipeline systems that we have in West Africa, and it has been a source of gas transport over the years. We also have the Kano pipeline that sends gas across to the north. We also have the OB3, Obiafo, Bricom, and OBN that also sends gas, transmits gas within the south-south and also connecting to the north as well. We also have Asanot projects, connecting Asanot gas projects to the OB3 project and then sending it down to the north as well. Then we have spur lines, which are in-country lines, domestic lines that help with gas transmission within process stations in country. All of these have supported our Decade of Gas initiative so far, but there is still more to do in our gas sector for us to achieve the 2030 deadline for the Decade of Gas initiative. While doing this and ensuring energy security, there are many parts we need to harness. We need to improve in the gas to power sector, the CNG transport. Most of our vehicles move on PMS and diesel, but CNG is a cleaner form of energy and can be used as fuel for vehicles, for aviation and automobile means of transport, even sea vessels. Then we have the NLNG for export. If we harness these aspects of gas utilization, we can actually promote our Decade of Gas initiative. The Nigerian Liquefied Natural Gas Company has also supported in the Train 7 that is currently ongoing. But before now, they have had Train 1 to 6 that has been in place from the year 1995 to the year 2025, when the Train 7 came on stream. What are the trends globally for gas utilization? What are people doing globally regards to gas utilization, especially with that need to transit from fossil fuel to cleaner source of energy? A lot of industries are demethanizing their hydrocarbon condensates and using them as NGLs. Some are minimizing gas flaring by building mini process plants around their oil fields, especially the oil fields that are in very remote areas and hard to reach, where the economics do not favor laying pipelines to any nearby or to a process station. So the economics of laying pipeline to a process station compared with building a fresh gas processing plant favors that a mini gas processing plant should be used for gas utilization. This has managed a lot of gas flares around remote fields. And there's the use of underground gas storage systems as well, where there are a lot of gases that should be flared. Underground gas storage system has helped and come in handy to curb gas flare and reduce carbon emission. Globally, we have the monetization technologies of natural gas. Where we say gas monetization, we're saying, how do we put gas into value? How do we make money from gas? And there are a lot of ways that we can do that, one of which is the gas to power, which we actually use in a very low, we have not fully harnessed this in country. And then the CNG as well. We have a CNG refuel stations around the cities, but it's not also as much as there are for the PMS. So we have not also fully harnessed this path. Then we have the LNG and the gas to liquid as well. The use of AI for gas delivery optimization to ensure that our pipeline delivers end-to-end without leakage, ensuring that we don't have leakage, we can curb or manage any form of leakage and emission. Then hydrogen gas and natural gas blending. When we blend hydrogen gas with natural gas, it helps to reduce the effect of the carbon and also helps with carbon footprinting. These are the global trends. Among countries that utilize natural gas as fuel and are also aiming to transit into cleaner sources of energy. As a review of JPT's natural gas processing and handling column, I've been able to come across quite a number of technologies that have been put in place. All around these technologies I've featured here to ensure that natural gas remains in the energy mix and is used efficiently and used in a way that it is environmentally friendly. Another thing we need to harness in country is our policies, our fiscal regulations. These are actually what is going to enable the natural gas sector. We usually would have bottlenecks if our policies are not right. For the PIA, we can see that the government actually states clearly in the PIA that companies that invest in midstream and downstream sector, they have some incentives. But we also would want where there is gas pricing policies properly in place and where there is an open door policy for public-private partnership. Then we would want, there also be that progress if frameworks and guarantees can be assured to those who want to begin this project, something like a soft loan, something like some incentives, a soft loan to support small and medium scale industries that will also want to delve into the natural gas sector. Now, how do we ensure sustainability in all we do? Sustainability and environmentally, sustainability in and safeguards in our environmental management. One of which would be managing our methane. Of course, we know that natural gas is more of methane and less of other forms of gases. Managing our methane and avoiding leaks, so that we have to install leak detection mechanisms in our pipelines because they run through, we have spoil lines here and there. Managing our methane and ensuring we have leak detection mechanism. Harnessing the use of AI, digital technology and robotics will be very good for this to ensure that this works so that they can be monitored remotely and ensure, because if we say we want to go fully into natural gas utilization, we would have a lot of pipelines here and there, and leaks will be a threat to our environment in terms of fire, outbreak, and some forms of explosion. But if we have leak detection mechanisms in place, this will help to reduce natural gas hazards around the utilization of natural gas domestically. We also have the gas flare elimination. Of course, we have technologies around gas reinjection. That is also good, but we can achieve flare out. If we can achieve flare out by setting up mini processing plants in our remote areas where more than one or two multiple companies that have fields around the same area can come together and set up mini processing plants where they can channel all their gases that would have been flared to process and then utilize monetized rather than flaring them. This will help with complete gas to help us to achieve complete gas flare out. And then we'll have to ensure that we put in place mechanisms for greenhouse gas accounting throughout our gas project life, end to end, where the natural gas value chain has some footprinting mechanisms so that at every point of the project, we see that we are able to manage and see what we are emitting, if we are emitting, how we can manage those emissions. And we need industry collaborations. What are the industry collaborations? Of course, all of the things that I saw in my JPT, in the JPT papers I read are researches done by companies, some done in collaboration with universities and researchers, government policies playing out properly to ensuring that those things work. We actually need it in country. We need industry, academia, and government synergy. We need a think tank boot camp where technocrats, experts in the field can come together to see how to make things work. Those who specialize in policy, those who specialize in technology, those who specialize in economics. Because if we put technology and economics and policy together and put them to effective use, then we'll achieve, we'll fully harness any industry sector, especially the oil and gas industry sector. So I want to say, this is what we have. This is what I am putting forward together for us this evening as what the initiative with Decade of Gas has been so far. I'm saying that from all that I've been exposed to by research, by reviewing papers, journals globally, Nigeria is not backward. The Decade of Gas initiative is actually on point, timely, and would actually fulfill the purpose and the mandate that it is assigned to fulfill, expecting that by 2030, we would have achieved more than 50% of what the initiative is all about. And this is the references to some of the articles used for this. And I'm thanking SPE Port Harcourt section led by Dr. Pringle Ebe and everyone who is listening to this talk. So far, I am saying that it has been worthwhile preparing this, and I'm thanking you for the platform to do this presentation. Thank you so much. Over to you, moderator. I'm open to questions.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Dr. Adaobi. That was a really amazing presentation. I can see lots of rounds of applause. Let's just keep that coming. Thanks. It was very informative. I myself, I'm quite involved with Decade of Gas, and even I myself, I picked up quite a number of things. So thanks so much for that. Just a couple of things I would like to just comment on before I throw open the floor. And these are things that we in this forum here all can play a part. So there are some decisions that come from the government, really high level, but there are some right from our level, especially those that have to do with AI. One thing I'll say is that if you come up with an innovative idea, you will surely be able to sell it. Companies globally, with Nigeria and outside, are all looking for these ideas to be able to run with, to make their businesses more efficient. The CNG initiative, it's one that even at a low level, we can start to push from there. We already have CNG stations around. It's a good one, less emission, and even is more financially efficient. Then the think tank bootcamp, I really love that idea. It's one that it's similar to what we are doing here, to be honest. And it doesn't even need to be in a group this large. It could be something smaller, within students, within colleagues, come together, bring up ideas, something we could sell to the nation, which could improve the situation of even our gas game. So thanks so much, Dr. Adaobi. Really appreciate the presentation this evening. So at this point, I'll throw open the floor. If you have questions or even comments, we would love to hear from us. So you could show by raising your hands. Let me read the chat. Okay, no. So in the chat box, I see lots of thank you. Lovely presentation indeed. So floor is open. Any comments, any questions from the room? And it doesn't need to be a question, really.
There's a question on the chat from Uche.
Okay, I'm not, just a moment. Okay, thanks. So the question I'll run through this. It says, with the increased drive to increase crude oil production, is Nigeria really ready for a progressive and sustainable gas transition initiative, and also meeting up with global clean energy transition? So Dr.
Thank you
Adaobi.
so much, Uche. Thank you for that question. Like I said before, Nigeria is a country with huge volume of gas and pockets of oil. And so most of the gas we actually get, we get from producing crude oil as associated gas. And so Nigeria has set in place policy, has also set in place infrastructure. And so that, like I said when I began, we don't jettison what we have because we want to transit to cleaner sources. We take it sustainably. While producing crude oil, we also will produce gas. And the PIA has stated that for companies that produce crude oil and would invest in gas infrastructure, they have incentives. So that is to say that you can produce crude oil, but make sure you invest in what? Gas infrastructure. And so side by side, this will go on while we project towards 2030, when we should achieve cleaner source or be stable with our what energy transition goal. I hope this answers your question a bit, even though I don't have the final answer because I'm not government that can tell the companies to stop producing crude oil. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Dr. Adeobi, for that response. Okay, so another question just came up. It said, is it practically possible to totally eliminate flaring? I don't mean routine flaring, emergency flaring as well.
Emergency flaring. If we have in place an underground storage system for temporary storage, we can eliminate flare outs. It just has to do with having infrastructure in place. And some companies actually reinject the gases, they don't flare. So I can say that in some fields, flare out is actually, flaring is not in all fields that flaring go on as I speak now in Nigeria.
Yeah, thanks so much, Dr. Adabi, for that. I think I can also add a little on this. So in fact, there are certain countries which actually you need to pay very heavy penalties for flaring. And what these companies in these countries do is, like the doctor said, they either reinject or they have compressors which boost the pressure from the flare system and then is used for another use. So indeed, it is possible with the right infrastructure. Thanks again, Doctor. So I'm still running through the chat. So lots of thank you messages. We are seeing them. Nice advantages of our current energy challenge. So why do we flare? Okay, let me just read that well. So Israel Emmanuel is asking, nice advantages of gas to our current energy challenge. So why do we flare instead of harnessing the resources? Okay.
So we flare because it's the cheapest or the easiest thing to do. But with policy in place that there is penalty for flaring, you have to now ask, do I want to pay this penalty, or do I invest in infrastructure and get tax credits? And so it will be on governments to increase the penalty so that anybody who considers flaring will actually think through the economics. Is it better to flare or to invest in gas infrastructure? Long term, I would be getting incentive and goodwill from government. So this will be on the operator and the government. But usually they flare because it's the easiest thing to do. And when the penalties are cheap and they feel they can just walk away with it. So in some cases, they flare because the volume they want to flare is not so much compared with the cost. And so, but now with this need to ensure clean energy, to ensure carbon footprinting, to ensure that greenhouse gases are not emitted, then flaring has been or is actually being halted by a lot of companies, especially the multinational, the international companies. They would not, because they have their goodwill to protect. Okay, so I don't know if there are more questions.
Yes, we still have a couple more. Thank you very much, Dr. Dalby. So the next one is from Ebuka Echefu. It says, do you believe that the economics behind the decade of gas will be great 10 years down the line? And do you believe that we can grow a solid market here for gas outside power stations or gas to liquid plants?
Yes, I believe that the economics can be great if we have the willpower We have the policy already. We can strengthen the policy by improving one or two aspects of the policy, the fiscal instruments. What we actually need to do is to monetize our gas industry properly, which would be CNG utilization in country. Government can put in place policies that manufacturers of automobiles to ensure that the automobiles they manufacture should be compliant with the usage of CNG. And then we can also go from there. Domestically, in a very crude way, people have been able to migrate their PMS generators to LPG. I see quite a number of people around doing that, even though I don't use it in my own home. If that can be done by the amateur and artisan technicians we have, then we can also achieve this if we put in the right policies and put in the right infrastructure. It's achievable. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Doctor. So another question, just a moment. So this is from Michael. It says, knowing that Nigeria is gas-filled environment, what's behind our struggle in gas usage for power generator in our country as a whole? So what is behind our struggle in gas usage for power generation in the country as a whole?
Okay, so I would say it has to do with distribution, more of distribution, not even generation. So we have to build proper electric networking to ensure proper distribution. Then policy, if the private-public partnership empowers private generation of power for business, I tell you that gas sector will boom. So if the government can bring on policies on board that allows private sector to generate power for usage, then a lot of people will invest in gas turbines and generate power because people want power. Power drives industrialization, power drives businesses, power drives a whole lot of things. And so that's another aspect that has affected power generation.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Adaobi. So I see 4 additional questions. So we will take this and we will stop here. Please, any further question after this, we would just push to get a response after the call. So thank you to everyone in the audience. So the next is from Belema Taylor. And the question is, does NLNG have plans in place to eliminate flaring in Bonny Island anytime soon? I'm not certain this question is for myself or for Dr. Adaobi. But it's fine, I'll take this question. Yeah, so in terms of NLNG, our facility is designed to operate 100% without any flaring. We have a nameplate capacity of 66,000 tons per day. That's the gas we receive from various suppliers, Total, Shell, Rona, Renaissance, Total, Oando. And we process this gas, we turn it to LNG, and we do this without flaring. Now, there are certain operations in terms of like startups or shutdown where we have minimal flaring, and we have lots of initiatives ongoing to also totally eliminate those. In terms of GHG emission reduction, we are also looking in that space. So this now is not flaring itself in terms of burning the gas, but it's what we burn in our turbines to power our compressors, which we use for liquefaction. And we also have initiatives, a number of them. I could spend the next 1 hour speaking on initiatives we are looking at in terms of reducing the GHG emissions. Even on our ships, in the past, we used to use diesel to power our LNG ships, but now we use gas, boil-off gas from the LNG we carry. So yes, indeed, we have minimal flaring and we have plans to completely eliminate this. Thanks for that question. The next question is from Miracle. It says, is this a statement? Let me just go through this. I hope the governments make the penalty for flaring uneconomic to the IOCs so as to boost the master plan feasibility, because some IOCs prefer paying these penalties over investing in infrastructure. So thanks, Miracle, for that. I think I agree with you on that. So the next from Godwin. So we'll take from Godwin, and please, we'll need to stop with patience. So technologies in Nigeria, and what are potential benefits and possible drawback in investing in that?
Please come again. I didn't get that. I had
Okay.
a little.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it says, what's the relationship between underground gas storage and carbon capture and sequestration as means to avoid flaring? How far are we from implementing such technologies in Nigeria? And what are the potential benefits and possible drawbacks in investing in that?
Okay, so underground gas storage can either be for capturing carbon and storing underground, or just storing the gas that would have been flared, which is not only carbon but hydrocarbon gas as well. So those are two things. And then what are we doing in Nigeria? We are more of in the research stage, more of in the research and policy stage around carbon sequestration. Even Nigeria, gas footprint, carbon footprinting is not so high compared to other countries, but we're working towards a general goal of curbing it as we progress. We don't have to get to the point where it gets out of control. So these are actually in their very infant stages, research stages, and policy stages. And generally, or in looking at the bigger picture, the Digital Gas Initiative is also part of it, because the initiative is about using a cleaner form of energy and reducing the emission of, or the utilization of, burning fossil fuels. So the Decade of Gas Initiative is also part of the initiative to help with carbon capture, sequencing, storage, and carbon footprinting.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you, Doctor. So the very last one, are there plans to get more facilities that are focused on gas production against oil production? Or is the Decade of Gas and the whole transition to cleaner energy hinged on associated gas? So this will be our final question, please.
Patience, you're very right. The decade of the production of gas in Nigeria hinges much more on associated gas. A lot of dry gas wells have not even been produced. In fact, we don't have companies. I know Shell produces gas, Escravos, Chevron, Total has recently acquired PSCs for gas fields. Those are companies, but a lot of the local or indigenous oil companies produce oil, and as they do, they produce gas associated with oil. And this is actually where we need infrastructure to manage gases that come up with oil. And that's why I said a number of companies that have fields around the certain locations can come together and build a mini processing station that can manage the gases, the associated gases they produce, or they utilize third-party pipelines and send the gas towards NLNG. These are the infrastructures we have in place already, the pipelines to NLNG. Or they can also do more with building mini processing plants that can help them process among them for domestic use, and also to monetize the gas industry in Nigeria.
Yeah. Okay, and thanks so much, Dr. Adaobi. So with that, we are done with the questions and comments in the chat. But I see we have one hand raised, Tsunji. Please, you can go ahead and unmute. Just confirming this is a real hand. Tsunji, if you are with us, you can unmute and speak. Okay, okay. I'll take that as an applause that turns to a hand raised. Okay, thank you. So on that note, we are done with the question and answer session. So this is to once again say a very big thank you to Dr. Adaobi. Amazing presentation. So please let's just give a round of applause with our emojis once again. Thanks so much, Doctor, for sharing this particular presentation with us. Much appreciated.
Thank
Okay.
you, everyone.
So on this note, I will hand back to the anchor to help drive the meeting from here. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Basi.
Thank you very much.
you. Thank you so much, Dr. Adaubi and Engineer Basi. I think that was a great one, really insightful. And I think the questions too were really apt. And thank you, Doc, for your response. Excellent moderation to our moderator, Engineer Basi. Next, we'll just want to call on our able PC to help us with the presentation of certificates to our speaker and moderator. So Mrs. Adeshola Robinson, please, I see you on the call. Kindly help us with the presentation of certificates to our speaker and moderator. Thank you. PC, can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, I was just unmuted now.
Okay. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Yeah. Good evening, everybody. And thank you to our speaker and our moderator for a beautiful session this evening. And on that note, I'm presenting a certificate of appreciation. Are you putting it up or I'm doing? Okay, thank you. On that note, I'm presenting a certificate of appreciation from the Society of Petroleum Engineers, Section 103, Port Harcourt. This certificate is proudly presented to Dr. Adaobi S. Nwose Anele for your invaluable contribution as a speaker for the 2025 monthly technical meeting. Theme: Decade of Gas Production and Supply for Sustainable Energy Transition. On this day, Thursday, 25th September 2025. This certificate is duly signed by the Section Chairperson, Engineer Dr. Pringle Egbe, 2025-2026 board year, and Engineer Ofure Chizi, the Technical Information Chairperson, 2025-2026 board year. Thank you so much, Dr. Adaobi, for spending this time with us and dishing out this invaluable information that we had tonight and answering all our questions. Please, can we just clap with our emojis? Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, and then to our able moderator, right? Engineer Iporo Basi. I have a certificate of appreciation here. This certificate is proudly presented to Engineer Iporo Basi for your invaluable contribution as a moderator for the 2025 monthly technical meeting. Theme: Decade of Gas Production and Supply for Sustainable Energy Transition. On this day, Thursday, 25th September 2025. This certificate is duly signed by Engineer Dr. Pringle Egbe, Section Chairperson, 2025-2026 board year, and Engineer Ofure Chizi, Technical Information Chairperson, 2025-2026 board year. Please let us give him a round of applause. Thank you so much, Engineer Bassi. We appreciate this.
Thank you so much, PC, and thank you once again to our speaker and moderator. Next, it's photographs, and I think there's really no SP session without pictures and photograph. So this is an opportunity for us to turn on our cameras. We want to see your handsome and beautiful faces. We want to put these in our archives to show that you were part of this meeting. So please feel free to turn on your camera, show us those beautiful smiles. We want to see it. And while we are turning on the camera, I see our section director, Ngozi Okonkwo. She joined us this evening. Good evening, SD Ma. Thank you for joining us this evening. And also to other senior members that joined us, thank you so much. We look forward to seeing more of you in our technical meetings. So Simeon, please help us while the cameras are coming on. Simeon would help us take pictures. Please give us your beautiful smile. I have to also turn on mine. All right, I see Madam Shola, I see Emmanuel, I see SD Otman. Thank you everybody. Emmanuel, David Bigbe, I see our SC. Yes, please, let's get more cameras on. Simeon, please, you help us and let us know when you're done. Please give us your best smile. This picture is going above and beyond. You see it on LinkedIn and all of our social media pages. So, so make sure you're smiling.
Hello,
all right.
can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Let us know. Are you done?
Yeah, we'll just do a quick one. So I'm going to say SP from here. You just give me the thumbs up. Those who can speak will just say solutions, people, energy. So I'll snap the picture. So SPE.
Solutions, people, energy.
Energy.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Now, just to let us know that we have more activities coming up. If you're not following us on our social media pages, you're doing the wrong thing. So please go follow us from LinkedIn to Instagram, Facebook. We're everywhere. And ensure you mark your calendars for our upcoming events at the section level, at the YP level. Lots of activities planned for our members. This one was very insightful, and we have loads of more of such coming up soon. So ensure you're following us. Ensure you're also a member. We want you to be part of this community. We have a WhatsApp channel for our members. If you're not there, you're missing out. So ensure you register, become a member, and you have the opportunity of joining the WhatsApp channel. And yes, just ensure you're following us, and you will see all of the information as they come. Thank you so much. I see my SC is still on the call. I think it's time to call it an evening. Don't worry. I have my SC on the call, so I'll just give the closing remarks to him. I know he welcomed us, and Madam Shola already helped us with presenting certificates. So SC, I would want you to help us close this meeting this evening.
Okay, thank you very much, Ofre. I really want to appreciate Dr. Adobe, Engineer Bassi for this wonderful section. And I also like the innovation, the new innovation of bringing in our membership drive and also the study group here to the technical section. And not forgetting our WhatsApp channel too, so that we can get our new members in our WhatsApp channel. So I want to appreciate everyone for coming and also for a wonderful section. Thank you very much. As you return back, stay safe and God bless. Thank you.
Thank you so much, SC. So the link to the study group will be shared. The communications team would cascade it to us. So please feel free to fill the form and indicate interest for the group you want to be part of. So it's an opportunity to share knowledge, like Hilary already told us. So please do well to join. Let's connect and learn from one another. Thank you so much. We still have about 56 persons on the call. Thank you for joining this evening. Do enjoy the rest of your evening and see you at our next meeting. Hopefully it's going to be in person, so we'll connect physically. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening. Cheers.
Thank you, Free. Bye.
Thank you, Ma.
Bye, everyone.